What's going on, tribe? Let's get into it. Got another one here. What happens to men who stay bachelors forever? According to science, men who never marry or have kids might not be as lonely as they seem. Really? It's just a man playing video games, chilling with his dog. Why is his bed on the floor, though? All right. He has a ton of books. Nice. There is no perfect time to get married or have kids, but when men follow through with both, it changes their lives forever. Conversely, men who never marry or have families are launched on a vastly different life trajectory. Society tends to teach us that life of being a bachelor and never getting married is the territory of best friends and rom-coms and those with intimacy issues. But this is, of course, far from the truth. In fact, new research shows that single and never married men lead healthy, fulfilling lives full of friends, sensitivity, and resilience, something that flies in the face of research that holds up marriage and family as the best and healthiest life destination for men. According to recent scientific studies, men who never get married may gain strength from solitude. They have more extensive social networks and a deeper connection to work. They're also differently vulnerable to some of life's travails. Here are a few facts to consider. Wow, this is making men going their own way. Scientific, boys. Interesting. Single men are rich in friendship. Single men are not necessarily isolated basement dwellers. They're actually significantly more likely than married men to have several close friends. 1 in 8 men report having no friends at all. And a lot of these men are married with kids. Despite research showing that friendships help people live longer lives, stave off cognitive decline, and increase general well-being. Whoa. Guy friends are a precious public health commodity that single men have covered, but poor in money. What single men gain in friends, they lose in money. Studies show men who stay unmarried make anywhere from 10 to 40% less than married men. There's evidence that fathers make up to 21% more than men without children. Those studies also suggest that men with wives and kids work longer hours and put up with more workplace bullshit than single men. Now, this doesn't mean marriage and parenthood cause financial success, though anecdotally that sure doesn't sound right. Indeed, other research argues that men are simply more likely to get married and have kids when their income is already rising. Either way, your unmarried, childless bachelor friends are probably making less money than you are. Well, that one's speaking strictly statistics, so can't really argue that one. Yet, men who aren't married commit more crimes. I mean, this one's simple, dude. If you have a wife at home and kids, obviously you got a lot more to lose. So committing crimes is probably not on your docket. Marriage reduces the likelihood that men will commit crimes, studies suggest, and data indicates that becoming a father quells criminal impulses even further. In societies with a disproportionate number of single men who cannot marry or have children, either as a result of polygamy or uneven sex ratios, we tend to see higher crime rates, higher rates of extremism, and more time at war across the board. Is that not the direction the West is heading in? Holy hell. We're seeing that unravel live before our very eyes. But bachelors are more sensitive to feelings of judgment and regret. When men cannot have their own biological children due to fertility problems, studies suggest they may experience a period of bereavement and regret. And when they can't have children because they can't find partners, they're more likely to be judged by others and more likely to lash out. The perception of being judged for the inability to marry and have kids has stoked the rise of a danger group of extremists who refer to themselves as involuntary celibates or incels, a number of whom have orchestrated mass shootings. Married dads are far less likely to feel disenfranchised, at least in this way. Yeah, the incels with the black pill thinking, it's just self-deprecating and self-hating, really. And it's doing what women do, where they're externalizing their problems. It's society's fault. It's women's fault. It's everybody's fault but my own. I was born with this deck of cards, say physical attractiveness, and there's nothing I can do. Nothing. My fate is sealed. Even if I work out, even if I do this, even if I get a great career, what's the point? What's the point? I can't because I don't have a jawline like a Chad. They're pathetic, but they also need saving because they probably come from broken homes, again, with little to no masculine presence in their lives. This is why they have this defeatist attitude in everything. Imagine living your life thinking your jaw isn't square enough, and that means that you can't get a good job because of that, that you can't start your own business because of that, that no woman wants you because of that. Okay, dude, do you know you can buy sex? Do you know that when you make enough money, you can get women that are even just looking for money alone, but your ability to provision makes you attractive to women? Unless you are like horrendously medically disfigured, a lot of these guys aren't. Their self-image is what's broken. They think they look like the humpback of Notre Dame. A lot of these dudes just look like normal dudes. That if you fixed yourself up with a little like haircut here, shave your nasty ass incel beard, learn to speak to people, don't have this weird attitude creep, women would be attracted to you if you worked on yourself just a little bit. But good luck telling a black pillar that. Being single doesn't necessarily mean being lonely. The good news for bachelors is that scientists are starting to suspect they've underestimated the upside of being alone. Despite warnings of loneliness epidemic, single men without children report deeper connections to friends, parents, and other family members as well as to their work. Single people will have a heightened sense of self-determination and are more likely to continue growing as people, one study found. Bachelors also may demonstrate more emotional self-sufficiency, especially when it comes to dealing with negative emotions. The preoccupation with the perils of loneliness can obscure the profound benefits of solitude. Bella DePaulo, a scientist at the University of California, Santa Barbara, told the American Psychological Association, "It is time for a more accurate portrayal of single people and single life, one that recognizes the real strengths and resilience of people who are single and what makes their lives so meaningful." Yeah, when you don't have kids, you tend to gravitate towards family, towards friends more. You build a kind of a social net that isn't dependent on your, say, nuclear family, of course. Or as a man, having essentially multiple mouths you're responsible for feeding. Like your life becomes, like it said in the earlier point, you go to work and you come back and you got to feed your wife, a couple of kids, and then you got to run off to work again, essentially longer hours because you got to afford the lifestyle and put food on the table. So those single men that are working less, making less, of course, have more time to have a more balanced approach to life, which leads them to feel, I would say, happier, better, lead more meaningful lives, because who wants to be a drone that constantly goes to work, comes home drained, and the only thing you see is your family. And then the once in a blue moon occasion you go out with the guys again, and you're that guy. "Hey, Bob, we haven't seen you in months, brother. How you been?" "Oh, just been working overtime, taking care of the family." That guy's not happy, dude. Those other guys are knocking back drinks, hanging out, traveling, doing cool shit. The bachelor, single guy lifestyle. There is, pros and cons to all of this. There's no real right answer, man. It's just, you got to find what makes you happy. Some men want to be married. Some men want to provide. They have that provisioning in them that's very strong genetically. Other men just want to be free and be alone. It's like, pick and choose, dude. Do what makes you happy. Just understand the cons and the pros of both of those choices. If you're trying to get married, understand the laws in the country you're in. Make the right choices in partner. Don't rush in it. Understand where you land economically speaking on the scale. Can you afford that? If you're trying to be a single guy, understand what that, pertains. You're going to be in the dating pool a lot more often than you need to be. You're going to be dealing with a variety of women, which can be fun and can be emotional training. You get to see the world, you get to do a bunch of stuff, but you don't get to come home to like a couple of kids screaming, "Daddy, Daddy," and getting that sense of fulfillment. Grass is always greener on the other side for quite a few people. So once you make the decision to head down one path, dude, commit to it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Catch you on the next one.